The American highway is a battlefield of egos, where gleaming supercars and rumbling muscle machines constantly jockey for supremacy. But lurking in the shadows of this automotive arms race exists a far more fascinating breed of vehicle, the sleeper car. These unassuming machines represent the ultimate automotive deception, hiding earth-shattering performance beneath the blandest of exteriors. Picture the scene. You're at a California stoplight in your brand-new Corvette, reveling in the admiring glances, when a boxy, grocery-getter Volvo wagon pulls up beside you. The driver, probably wearing dad jeans and sipping fair trade coffee, doesn't even acknowledge your presence. The light turns green, you stomp the accelerator, and then the impossible happens. That boring Swedish brick transforms into a screaming demon, its twin-charged four-cylinder wailing as it leaves your six-figure sports car, choking on its exhaust fumes. This is the magic of sleeper cars, and in America's image-obsessed car culture, they serve as the great equalizers, humbling overpriced exotics and overconfident owners with delicious irony. What makes these stealthy performers so compelling isn't just their speed. It's the complete disconnect between their milquetoast appearances and their terrifying capabilities. While Ferrari and Lamborghini owners pay massive premiums for attention-grabbing designs, sleeper car enthusiasts enjoy the last laugh, their vehicles' true potential hidden in plain sight. These are cars engineered specifically to defy expectations, to turn the automotive hierarchy upside down, and to deliver one of the most satisfying experiences in motoring. The look on a Porsche owner's face when they get gapped by something that looks like it should be hauling recycling bins. The psychology behind sleeper cars taps into something deeply American: the love of the underdog, the appreciation for hidden talent, and the satisfaction of beating the system. In a country where people routinely judge books by their covers, these machines deliver constant plot twists. They're the automotive equivalent of a mild-mannered accountant who moonlights as a UFC fighter, or a grandma who happens to be a poker champion. This series will explore 8 of the most extreme examples of the breed, vehicles that redefine what performance car means by proving that true speed needs no announcement. Our journey through the world of sleepers will reveal surprising engineering marvels, from turbocharged minivans to station wagons with supercar slaying power. We'll examine how automakers sometimes create these monsters intentionally, like Volvo's Polestar division, while others are born from aftermarket madness, like twin-turbocharged Honda Odyssey minivans. Along the way, we'll meet the passionate owners who cherish the double takes and drop jaws their vehicles inspire, and explore why these unassuming rockets hold such appeal in American car culture. The sleeper car phenomenon speaks to something deeper than just performance numbers. In an era where social media encourages constant showing off, these vehicles represent a refreshing counterpoint: the joy of having a secret, of keeping your capabilities hidden until the perfect moment. They're automotive ninjas in a world full of samurai, and their stories reveal fascinating insights about engineering, psychology, and what really makes a car exciting. So buckle up as we count down 8 of the most deceptively fast, boring cars ever built. By the end, you'll never look at a minivan or station wagon the same way again. The Volvo V60 Polestar represents perhaps the most perfect execution of the sleeper car concept ever to leave a factory. At first glance, it's the epitome of Scandinavian restraint, a sleek but utterly conventional wagon shape rendered in muted colors, its only visual flair being the occasional subtle blue accent. To the uninitiated, it's just another premium European people mover, the kind of vehicle you'd expect to see outside a Montessori school or a Whole Foods. But start digging deeper, and the Polestar's carefully hidden secrets begin to reveal themselves: the slightly wider stance, the performance tires hiding under those rounded wheel arches, the quad exhaust tips peeking out from beneath the rear bumper. Then you notice the badge, not some shouty V8 or Turbo S designation, but a simple Polestar script so understated it might as well be invisible. What makes the V60 Polestar specialize under that unassuming hood? One of the most ingenious powertrains ever put in a production car. While competitors were stuffing massive V8s into their performance models, Volvo's engineers worked magic with just 4 cylinders. The 2.0-liter engine employs both a supercharger and turbocharger in an ingenious twin-charge configuration that delivers the best of both forced induction worlds. The supercharger provides instant throttle response off the line, eliminating turbo lag, while the turbo takes over at higher RPMs for explosive top-end power. The result is 415 horsepower, more than many V8s, channeled through an 8-speed automatic transmission and Volvo's excellent all-wheel drive system. The numbers tell an impressive story. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.4 seconds, a top speed electronically limited to 155 miles per hour, and braking performance that matches many dedicated sports cars. But numbers alone don't capture what makes the V60 Polestar so special. It's how it delivers those numbers while maintaining complete civility when you're not hammering it. The cabin remains a sanctuary of Scandinavian calm, all premium materials and ergonomic perfection. The ride quality, while firm, never becomes punishing. This is a car that can shred back roads one moment and cruise silently down the interstate the next. Its dual personality perfectly captured in its split-second transformation from mild-mannered wagon to performance beast. Volvo's engineers didn't just throw power at the V60 and call it a day. The Polestar treatment included extensive chassis upgrades with specially tuned Öhlins dampers, stiffer bushings throughout the suspension, and upgraded brakes. The all-wheel drive system was tweaked for more rear-bias power distribution, giving the big wagon surprisingly playful handling. Even the transmission received special programming for faster shifts and better response. The result is a vehicle that feels every bit as special to drive as its German competitors, just without the flashy exterior design. What truly sets the V60 Polestar apart in the American context is how perfectly it plays into the sleeper car fantasy. While a Mercedes-AMG or BMW M car announces its intentions with bulging fenders and shouty styling, the Volvo flies under the radar. It's the perfect vehicle for someone who wants Porsche-rivaling performance, but can't stand the attention that typically comes with it. The V60 Polestar lets you destroy egos at stoplights while still looking like a responsible parent. The ultimate automotive alter ego. The cultural significance of the V60 Polestar in America shouldn't be underestimated. In a market that traditionally associates performance with aggressive styling, the Volvo made a bold statement. True sophistication means not having to show off. It became a cult favorite among car enthusiasts who appreciated its stealthy approach to speed. And today, well-maintained examples command strong resale values on the used market. The V60 Polestar proved that in the right hands, even a station wagon could be thrilling, and in doing so, it redefined what American buyers could expect from a performance vehicle. Perhaps the greatest testament to the V60 Polestar's brilliance is how it makes you feel when driving it. There's a special kind of joy that comes from outperforming flashier cars while piloting something so resolutely normal-looking. It's the automotive equivalent of a poker tell. You know the car's secret, but everyone else remains blissfully unaware until it's too late. This emotional connection, this sense of being in on the joke, is what separates true sleeper cars from merely fast vehicles. And the V60 Polestar delivers it in spades. In the mid-2000s, at a time when American automakers had largely abandoned station wagons for SUVs, Dodge dropped what might be the most gloriously unhinged sleeper car of the modern era, the Magnum SRT8, a vehicle that looked like it belonged in a suburban driveway, but drove like it should be terrorizing drag strips. At first glance, the Magnum was just another long-roof wagon, its stretched silhouette and upright proportions giving it all the visual excitement of a rental car. But then you'd notice the subtle clues. The bulging hood scoop, the menacing blacked-out grille, the oversized exhaust tips, and those iconic SRT8 badges that hinted at the madness lurking beneath. Open the hood and you'd find Dodge's legendary 6.1L Hemi V8, a snarling, oil-thirsty beast pumping out 425 horsepower and 420 lb-ft of torque, numbers that could embarrass contemporary sports cars while still leaving room for a full set of golf clubs in the back. What made the Magnum SRT8 so special wasn't just its power. It was how completely it defied expectations, transforming from docile family hauler to tire-shredding monster with just a stab of the throttle. Its exhaust notes switching from muted burble to full-on NASCAR roar in an instant. The performance numbers told the story. 0 to 60 miles per hour in the low 4-second range, a quarter-mile time that could humble Mustangs of its era, and a top speed that had to be electronically limited because the wagon-shaped body wasn't exactly aerodynamic perfection. But raw stats don't capture the Magnum SRT8's true appeal. It was the sheer absurdity of the concept, the way it combined mundane practicality with barely contained violence, creating a vehicle that could simultaneously serve as a comfortable highway cruiser and a straight-line weapon. Dodge's engineers didn't just drop a big engine into a wagon. They transformed the entire vehicle, upgrading the suspension with stiffer springs and performance dampers, fitting massive Brembo brakes behind 20-inch wheels, and tuning the exhaust to produce that signature Hemi growl. The interior got the treatment too, with heavily bolstered sport seats, a thick steering wheel, and aluminum pedals, though it still maintained that classic American plastic-heavy build quality. What truly set the Magnum apart was its cultural impact. In an era when wagons were becoming increasingly niche, Dodge created something that appealed to both gearheads and families, a car that could haul groceries one minute and smoke an unsuspecting sports car the next. Today, the Magnum SRT8 has achieved cult status among American car enthusiasts. Its unique blend of practicality and performance making it increasingly sought after on the used market. Driving one in 2024 is a revelation. The raw, unfiltered nature of its power delivery feels refreshing in an age of turbocharged efficiency, and the constant double takes from people who can't believe what they're seeing never gets old. The Magnum SRT8 represents a specific moment in American automotive history when manufacturers were willing to take risks, to build vehicles that defied categorization, and in doing so, created something truly special. A wagon that wasn't just fast for its type, but fast by any standard, and one that proved performance could come in the most unexpected packages. The Audi RS6 Avant represents the ultimate evolution of the European sleeper wagon. A vehicle that looks like it should be hauling IKEA furniture, but packs enough firepower to humble exotic supercars. Its unassuming silhouette hiding what is essentially a Lamborghini engine in a grocery getter's body. At first glance, it's just another premium estate car, sleek but understated, with only the quad exhaust pipes and subtle RS badging hinting at its true nature. But press the start button, and the 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8 erupts with a deep, menacing growl that instantly shatters any illusions of practicality. This is no ordinary family hauler. With 591 horsepower, in its base form, rocketing it from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a blistering 3.5 seconds, the RS6 Avant isn't just fast for a wagon. It's faster than a Ferrari F430, a Porsche 911 Turbo of its era, and most other vehicles that cost twice as much while looking infinitely more dramatic. What makes the RS6 so brilliantly deceptive is how completely it masks its insane performance beneath that conservative Audi styling. The body rolls on air suspension that can lower it for better aerodynamics or raise it for speed bumps. The interior is a masterpiece of understated luxury with all contra-wrapped surfaces and diamond-stitch seats, and the driving experience can toggle between comfortable highway cruiser and track-ready monster at the twist of a dial. Audi's engineers didn't just create a fast wagon. They built what might be the ultimate all-weather performance machine, with a rear-biased quattro all-wheel drive system that can launch it off the line with terrifying efficiency while still maintaining perfect composure in snow, rain, or whatever else Mother Nature throws its way. The real magic happens when you put your foot down. The 8-speed automatic snaps off lightning-fast shifts. The turbos spool up with minimal lag. And before you know it, you're doing triple-digit speeds while surrounded by the kind of luxury appointments typically found in an A8 sedan. Unlike more flamboyant performance cars, the RS6 Avant delivers its thrills with titanic efficiency. There's no drama, no tail-happy antics, just relentless, computer-controlled acceleration that makes even novice drivers feel like professional racers. In America, where SUVs have largely replaced wagons, spotting an RS6 Avant is a rare treat. Most pedestrians will walk right past without a second glance, completely unaware that they're looking at one of the fastest production vehicles on the road. A machine capable of keeping pace with million-dollar hypercars while still having room for a full set of golf clubs and a week's worth of groceries. The RS6 represents the pinnacle of sleeper car engineering. It doesn't need wild styling or ear-splitting exhaust to prove its worth, just the knowledge that when the light turns green, very few vehicles on the road, regardless of price or pedigree, will be able to keep up, and exactly 0 of them will do it while offering this much practicality. For the discerning enthusiast who wants world-class performance without the flashy image, the RS6 Avant is quite possibly the perfect car. A velvet-gloved sledgehammer that redefines what a family vehicle can be, proving conclusively that when it comes to performance, the most exciting packages often come in the most unexpected wrappings. The Mercedes-Benz E63 AMG wagon represents the ultimate expression of German engineering insanity. A vehicle that combines the dignified presence of a luxury estate car with the soul of a full-blown muscle car, creating what might be the most perfectly balanced sleeper ever to wear the three-pointed star. At first glance, it's just another premium Mercedes wagon, the kind you'd expect to see outside a European embassy or driven by a wealthy architect. But then you notice the subtle AMG styling cues. The wider fenders barely containing massive alloy wheels, the quad exhaust tips peeking out from beneath the rear bumper, and that telltale E63 badge that whispers rather than shouts its intentions. Start the engine and the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 awakens with a deep, angry snarl that instantly betrays this wagon's true nature. 603 horsepower in S-trim, waiting to be unleashed through an all-wheel drive system so sophisticated it can send 100% of power to the rear wheels when you want hooligan behavior or distribute it for maximum grip when weather turns foul. The performance numbers border on absurd for something shaped like a family hauler. 0 to 60 miles per hour in a neck-snapping 3.3 seconds, a quarter-mile time that embarrasses dedicated sports cars, and a top speed that would be illegal on every American road, even if it wasn't electronically limited to 155 miles per hour, unless you option the AMG driver's package that raises it to 186 miles per hour. What makes the E63 AMG wagon so special isn't just its straight-line speed. It's how completely it redefines what a practical vehicle can do, with a 9-speed automatic transmission that shifts with lightning precision, an air suspension system that can transform from plush limo to track-ready stiffness at the touch of a button, and rear-wheel steering that makes this long wagon remarkably agile in tight corners. The interior is pure Mercedes luxury, sumptuous leather, exquisite wood trim, and the latest tech, but with AMG's sporty touches like a thick-rimmed steering wheel and deeply bolstered seats to keep you planted during hard driving. Unlike more ostentatious performance cars, the E63 AMG wagon delivers its thrills with Teutonic restraint. The exhaust note is authoritative but never obnoxious. The acceleration is brutal but smoothly delivered, and the handling is razor-sharp without being punishing. This duality is what makes it such an exceptional sleeper. During the weekday commute, it's every bit as comfortable and refined as a standard E-Class, but find an open stretch of road, and it transforms into an Autobahn-storming missile capable of keeping pace with vehicles costing twice as much. In America, where AMG is more commonly associated with hulking SUVs and coupes, the E63 wagon flies under the radar. Most people will mistake it for just another expensive Mercedes, completely unaware they're looking at one of the fastest production vehicles ever to wear a wagon body. The few who recognize it for what it is will nod in appreciation, knowing they're in the presence of what might be the ultimate all-around performance car, something equally capable of dominating track days, school runs, and cross-country road trips without breaking a sweat. For the discerning enthusiast who refuses to compromise between practicality and performance, the E63 AMG wagon stands alone. A masterclass in engineering that proves beyond doubt that when it comes to going fast, the most exciting packages often come wrapped in the most sophisticated paper. The Porsche Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid Sport Turismo might just be the ultimate flex in automotive deception. A vehicle that looks like a slightly stretched luxury wagon, but hides the heart of a hypercar beneath its elegant lines. At first glance, it's all understated Porsche sophistication. The sleek roofline, the wide but not obnoxious stance, and those signature LED taillights stretching across the rear hatch. But then you notice the subtle clues. The massive carbon ceramic brake rotors barely visible behind the 21-inch wheels, the Turbo S badging in sinister black lettering, and those for exhaust pipes that hint at the controlled chaos lurking within. Press the start button, and the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 awakens with a muted growl, joined by the nearly silent whir of the electric motor. This is no ordinary Panamera, but a 680-horsepower plug-in hybrid powertrain that rockets this luxury hauler from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a mind-bending 2.8 seconds, making it quicker than a Lamborghini Huracan off the line, while offering enough trunk space for multiple golf bags. The genius of this Porsche lies in its dual personality. In full electric mode, it can glide through city streets in near silence like any premium hybrid. But when you unleash all systems simultaneously, the combined force of the V8 and electric motor delivers a sledgehammer blow of acceleration that pins you to the leather seats, while the all-wheel drive system scrambles to put all that power to the pavement without drama. Porsche's engineers didn't just throw power at this wagon. They meticulously tuned every component, from the 8-speed PDK transmission that shifts with telepathic precision to the adaptive air suspension that can transform from cloud-like comfort to track-ready stiffness at the touch of a button. The rear axle steering tightens the turning circle for parking while enhancing high-speed stability, and the massive carbon brakes, optional but essential for this kind of performance, provide fade-free stopping power whether you're hauling down from triple-digit speeds or just navigating suburban speed bumps. Inside, it's pure Porsche luxury. Perfectly bolstered 18-way adjustable seats, exquisite materials everywhere you look, and every conceivable tech feature. But with the added practicality of a wagon's cargo area that can swallow an impressive amount of gear while maintaining that sleek silhouette. What makes the Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid Sport Turismo such a brilliant sleeper is how completely it defies expectations. Most bystanders will dismiss it as just another expensive Porsche, completely unaware that this particular variant can out-accelerate nearly every other vehicle on the road while still delivering respectable fuel economy when driven sensibly. In America, where Porsche is more commonly associated with two-door sports cars and SUVs, this long-roof performance monster flies under the radar. The perfect vehicle for someone who wants hypercar performance but needs daily driver practicality and prefers to keep a low profile. The driving experience is pure Porsche magic. The steering communicates every nuance of the road surface. The chassis remains unflappable even when pushed hard, and the powertrain delivers its monumental thrust with an effortless sophistication that makes the insane speeds feel almost casual. This is a vehicle that redefines what a wagon can be. Equally, at home carving up mountain roads, cruising cross-country in sublime comfort, or shocking supercar owners at stoplights, all while maintaining an air of quiet dignity that only makes its performance capabilities that much more surprising when unleashed. For the connoisseur who wants the ultimate all-in-one performance machine without the flashy image of a traditional supercar, the Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid Sport Turismo stands alone, a technological tour de force that proves electrification and extreme performance can coexist in the most practical of packages, and that sometimes the fastest vehicles come in the most unexpected shapes. The Tesla Model S Plaid redefines the very concept of a sleeper car for the electric age. A vehicle that looks like a slightly refreshed luxury sedan, but hides enough raw, unadulterated acceleration to make most supercars feel sluggish by comparison. At first glance, it's all familiar Tesla minimalism. The smooth aerodynamic lines unchanged since its 2012 debut, the unassuming door handles that sit flush with the body, and that now iconic touchscreen dominating the interior. But then you notice the subtle plaid badge on the rear, the only outward indication that this particular Model S packs 3 electric motors, producing a combined 1,020 horsepower, enough to rocket this family-friendly EV from 0 to 60 miles per hour in an almost incomprehensible 1.99 seconds when conditions are right, making it one of the quickest production cars ever built regardless of price. The genius of the Model S Plaid as a sleeper lies in its complete lack of traditional performance car theatrics. No roaring exhaust, no aggressive body kit, not even the whine of a supercharger. Just eerie silence, as the electric motors deliver instantaneous torque that slams passengers back into their seats with violence that must be experienced to be believed. Tesla's engineers achieved this staggering performance not through brute force alone, but through relentless innovation. The carbon-sleeved rotors in the rear motor can spin at up to 20,000 RPM without flying apart. The 4,680 battery cells deliver massive power while maintaining thermal stability. And the sophisticated traction control system manages to put all that power down without shredding the rear tires most of the time. What makes the Plaid particularly deceptive is how normal it feels when you're not flooring it. The ride quality remains comfortable thanks to adaptive air suspension. The interior is quiet and spacious enough for 5 adults, and the hatchback design offers surprising cargo capacity, making it easy to forget you're driving something with hypercar performance until you decide to demonstrate its capabilities. The driving experience is unlike anything from the internal combustion world. There's no build-up, no downshifts, just immediate, relentless acceleration that comes on like a force of nature, pushing you toward the horizon with terrifying efficiency, while the yoke-style steering wheel, a controversial choice, and low seating position make it feel more like piloting a spaceship than driving a family sedan. In America, where Teslas have become as common as pickup trucks in some neighborhoods, the Plaid version blends in perfectly. Only the initiated will recognize it for what it truly is, allowing owners the pleasure of casually outperforming far more expensive machinery while drawing almost no attention to themselves. The Model S Plaid represents a new kind of sleeper for a new automotive era, one where performance isn't announced by noise or styling, but exists as pure, silent potential, waiting to be unleashed at the slightest provocation. It's a vehicle that proves electric powertrains can deliver excitement that surpasses even the most highly tuned internal combustion engines, while maintaining everyday usability that puts traditional performance cars to shame. For the tech-savvy enthusiast who wants earth-shattering speed without the maintenance headaches or fuel bills of a conventional supercar, the Model S Plaid offers the ultimate combination. A vehicle that can destroy egos at stoplights all day while still having enough range left to drive 350 miles home, all while carrying your family in climate-controlled comfort and playing your favorite streaming services through an incredible sound system. This is the sleeper car of the future, one that doesn't hide its performance beneath a bland exterior so much as it redefines what performance can look like in an era where the quickest car on the road might also be the quietest and most practical one too. The Volkswagen Golf R represents the ultimate expression of the everyday supercar philosophy. A vehicle that looks nearly identical to the humble Golf hatchback your neighbor drives to the grocery store, but hides a turbocharged 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine pumping out 315 horsepower, enough to propel this unassuming compact from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.5 seconds, while maintaining all the practicality and discretion that made the Golf famous. At first glance, it's just another Volkswagen. The same familiar hatchback shape that's been a staple of European roads for decades. The same understated styling cues that blend seamlessly into urban environments. But look closer and you'll spot the subtle giveaways. The larger front grille needed to feed air to the intercooler. The quad exhaust tips peeking out from beneath the rear bumper. And those beautiful 19-inch alloy wheels hiding massive blue brake calipers. Start the engine and the Golf R immediately distinguishes itself from its more pedestrian siblings with a deep, purposeful exhaust note that's been carefully tuned to provide just enough oral drama without crossing into obnoxious territory. A perfect metaphor for the car's entire personality. Performance when you want it. Civility when you need it. What makes the Golf R such a brilliant sleeper is how completely it disappears in plain sight. While flashier performance cars attract unwanted attention from both law enforcement and would-be thieves, the Golf R looks like just another commuter car until you press the accelerator and feel the turbo spool up, the all-wheel drive system dig in, and this unassuming hatchback transform into a legitimate performance machine capable of keeping pace with vehicles costing twice as much. Volkswagen's engineers didn't just drop a powerful engine into a Golf body. They reworked nearly every component to handle the increased performance, including a sophisticated torque vectoring all-wheel drive system that can send up to 100% of power to the rear wheels when needed, a sport-tuned suspension that maintains surprising ride comfort despite its capabilities, and a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission that shifts with lightning-fast precision while still being docile enough for stop-and-go traffic. The interior maintains Volkswagen's reputation for thoughtful design with supportive sport seats, a thick-rimmed steering wheel, and high-quality materials throughout. Though it deliberately avoids the flashy aesthetic of more expensive performance cars. There are no neon accent lights or garish badges here. Just subtle, our logos reminding you that this is something special. Driving the Golf R reveals its true character. The turbocharged engine delivers explosive mid-range punch that makes passing on highways effortless. The chassis remains composed even when pushed hard through corners. And the all-wheel drive system provides confidence-inspiring grip in all weather conditions, making it one of the few true performance cars that can genuinely be driven year-round. In America, where hatchbacks still occupy a niche market position, the Golf R's ability to fly under the radar is particularly pronounced. Most people will dismiss it as just another compact car, completely unaware that this particular Golf can outperform many of the muscle cars and sports cars that draw so much more attention. The Golf R represents a different kind of sleeper, not one that hides massive power beneath a luxury car's refined exterior, but one that packages surprising performance in the most humble of wrappings, proving that you don't need dramatic styling or exotic badges to enjoy thrilling driving dynamics. For the enthusiast who values capability over image, who prefers the satisfaction of outperforming expectations to the fleeting ego boost of driving something flashy, the Golf R offers perhaps the purest modern interpretation of the sleeper car ethos, a vehicle that proves true performance doesn't need to announce itself. It just needs to deliver when called upon. And, in this regard, few cars do it better than this unassuming German hatchback that just happens to have the heart of a giant killer. The Cadillac CTS-V wagon stands as perhaps the most American sleeper ever conceived, a vehicle that looks like it should be hauling kids to soccer practice, but hides a supercharged 6.2L V8 pumping out 640 horsepower, transforming this practical family hauler into a straight-line weapon capable of embarrassing exotic cars while still having room for a full set of golf clubs in the back. At first glance, it's just another luxury wagon. The same long roofline and practical shape as any upscale estate car, but then you notice the subtle clues. The bulging hood necessary to clear the massive supercharger, the quad exhaust tips peeking out from beneath the rear bumper, and those CTS-V badges that hint at the insanity lurking beneath. Start the engine, and the LSA V8 awakens with a deep, menacing growl that instantly shatters any illusions of civility. This is no ordinary Cadillac, but a hand-built performance machine that rockets from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.7 seconds, making it one of the fastest wagons ever produced and putting it firmly in supercar territory despite its unassuming appearance. What makes the CTS-V wagon such an exceptional sleeper is how completely it defies expectations. While European performance wagons prioritize refinement and all-weather capability, this American brute delivers old-school muscle car thrills wrapped in a practical package, complete with tire-shredding power and a soundtrack that would do a Corvette proud. GM's engineers didn't just drop a big engine into a wagon body. They transformed the entire vehicle, upgrading the suspension with magnetic ride control that can switch from comfortable cruising to track-ready stiffness in milliseconds, fitting massive Brembo brakes behind 19-inch wheels, and tuning the exhaust to deliver that signature supercharged V8 snarl without becoming unbearable on long trips. The interior maintains Cadillac's luxury aspirations with premium leather seats, real metal accents, and wood trim, though the deeply bolstered sport seats and suede-wrapped steering wheel remind you this is no ordinary grocery getter. Driving the CTS-V wagon reveals its split personality. Around town, it's surprisingly civilized, the magnetic suspension soaking up bumps with ease and the cabin remaining quiet enough for conference calls. But find an open road, and it transforms into an absolute monster. The supercharger whine building as the tachometer climbs, and the rear tires struggling for traction even with the stability control engaged. In America, where wagons have long played second fiddle to SUVs, the CTS-V's ability to surprise is particularly potent. Most people will dismiss it as just another Cadillac, completely unaware that this particular model can outperform contemporary Porsches and Ferraris while still offering genuine, everyday usability. The CTS-V wagon represents a high watermark for American performance vehicles, a time when automakers were willing to build truly unhinged machines that defied conventional categorization, creating cars that were equal parts practical and psychotic. Today, well-maintained examples have become collector's items. Their unique combination of brute force performance and surprising practicality making them increasingly sought after on the used market. For the enthusiast who wants Corvette rivaling performance without sacrificing rear seat legroom or cargo space, who appreciates the irony of humbling exotic cars in something that looks like it should be hauling dry cleaning, the CTSV wagon offers perhaps the ultimate expression of the sleeper car ethos, a vehicle that proves true performance doesn't need to shout, and that sometimes the most exciting packages come wrapped in the most unexpected paper.